That's what I'll say, because he needs to be very good at how can I convince you. I need to understand what you value so that I can convince you with something that then we are doing it for the whole team. Because at the end, you as part of the team, you have to be feeling fulfilled and really proud and good and so on. And it's totally different for each and every person. There is no magic box. He will come up and say, okay, I give you $100 and I give you a ticket to something, and that's it. But he needs to be able to work with the team.
I think that it's not a good idea to mix those roles, people management and Scrum Master, because then when you have one Scrum Master, you want to be free and open as much as possible to say, hey, I have this and this and this issue. And usually the psychology of people is that you don't want to look like this before your manager.
But as I said, it's a personal...
It should be your colleague.
That's what in the literature as well it says. You know, but it's not that this is, as I said, best practices sometimes in some company comes with worst practices. Because you copy something, you know, and you apply it, and it doesn't work. And you just say, oh, I need to make it work. But it will never ever succeed in the environment you have in another company. In general, you're right. The Scrum Master should be able to speak with each and everyone in the same level. The people should not fear that this will be somehow reflected in their pay and bonuses and things like that. And yet, in my personal experience, I was a Scrum Master and a manager for the teams, and it worked. But it took me a lot of learning how to do it, because the biggest step was for me, not for them, so that I can enable them to do it in this situation. And there are people who can do both jobs, and there are people who would better do better job only as a people manager and only as a Scrum Master, which is fine. We need to find the right people and put them there so that at the end, chemistry happens.
By the way, I heard recently a story where a junior developer joined the team, and then he was like naturally really good with people, so the team decided that they would put him as the Scrum Master actually.
Which is okay. Which is okay. If he has the skills, he has the capabilities, why not? We want to put the people where they performed at their best.
As we all know, and as you said earlier, Scrum Master is a role, not a job. But more often, I see at some companies that some people are taking positions as a Scrum Master. And what's your comment about this? And do you think it's a big problem why these companies are doing this?
I didn't say that in general it's like that, I said in SAP it's like that. There are companies where they have job postings and it's a job, a full-time job, and sometimes the Scrum Master is making, big projects with few teams, one Scrum Master, and it's a full-time job, definitely. My ideal answer to this is a company where every time the people would be able to change their roles, and they will be able, to even, the Scrum Master will be there, Scrum Master for a while, then he can go back and develop a little bit, and another person can become a Scrum Master. Because, if people tend to stick very much to the roles and the positions, and they want to keep them with any price, they become, the positions themselves become so valuable to the identity of the person that he will never ever want to give away, then we are changing the game, because it's not anymore about doing a good job, but
like
it's...
Borisov.
Okay. Yeah, there are many examples.
Like the word master.
And that's why, you know, also if you read lean literature, you will see that in the beginning in Toyota, when they started with Toyota production system, they would pick up few people and they said, okay, you're the lead engineer for this project. But the moment the project ends, you're just a normal engineer doing normal work. And then there are other people who will go and come back. And actually as well, not forgetting what it takes to do the work is important.
What are the main issues? What are the main issues with in sprint planning?
In sprint planning. So in sprint planning, usually people don't know how to plan. That's not the main issues. But you know, they have to learn as well. If someone from you, a project manager who works project manager, some of you, yeah. How did you learn to plan?
My mistake.
And that's the answer, you know. They need to make some kind of mistakes, and they need to be able to learn from the mistakes, and they need to be able to do it fast. And that's where Scrum actually helps us, because we are doing planning actually every day. It depends how you do your sprint planning, but if you do sprint planning by splitting the tasks and not assigning the tasks to people, and then each day when you look at the board with all the tasks, depending on where you stand today, the whole team needs to do a planning, what is the most valuable thing to do with our time today, and they do planning to take the tasks, and then they do planning how to do the work every day. They will be much faster to learn by mistakes and learning how to do it properly. But it's just a skill.
Because it happens to me as well. I plan to do something today, and the next day I continue to think that I can finish the same thing tomorrow. And how can you break out of this?
First of all, if you plan something to take 4 hours and it took more, you need to ask yourself why. You know, the 5 why analysis there. Why it takes more? What did I miss? You know, what is the essence? And when you understand, you are able to learn how to do it for the other tasks. So you need to analyze this one. For this particular task, if you are reporting 2 days in a row, I'm still working and I have not done the task, because you have to actually report on the daily stand-up, not that you have done 4 hours of work, but how much time it remains. It also teaches you how to estimate, because if you say I worked yesterday and I worked today, it was estimated 4 hours, and today I need to tell you how much time still I have to do the task until it's done. You have to find a way to articulate the number. And by doing that, actually you detailize your planning, what you intend to do to solve the issue, and at the end you might be able to resolve it. That's one of the things. The other things which a lot of developers do as mistake during the planning is they stick with one solution only. And if we do the planning with one and the first solution that it came to our minds, we actually overinvest in this solution, because we don't have other ideas how we can come around the problem. And planning should be used properly to think about other alternatives. You know, so I can do it this way, I can do it that way, I can do it that way. I think this will be faster because I'm very skillful in that. I don't know this one, maybe it will be slower, but at least I have an option. And this is where you use the wisdom of the team, you know, because if you are planning one product backlog item, only one by yourself, you will continue to make the same mistakes if you don't learn fast enough. If you're planning the backlog item with the team and you say, okay, I think I could do this and I can call this method and I need to write this code, maybe it will be around this time. When you say it, if a person done similar task can ask you, are you sure? Because for me it took 2 times more. That is your first correction during the planning meeting. As well, when you tell the team I'm doing this and this and that, someone might say, by the way, do you know that you can do it this way as well? This is the, this is the core of the planning meeting. We are not doing the planning meeting to get the hours. We're doing planning meetings to understand what is behind the tasks and to synchronize